Okay, thank you, Seok-Jin, for the wonderful introduction. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I think firstly I'd like to thank our opposition leaders for gracing this occasion and for speaking very cogently on the outstanding issues facing the opposition today. Now, Singapore is a one-party state in practice, even though we have 2 opposition MPs and 1 opposition NC MP in Parliament. Policies get bulldozed through Parliament, making parliamentary debates seem to have little effect on the eventual outcome. There were not enough opposition voices in Parliament to offer alternative views and represent the true voices of the HDB heartlanders and working class citizens. Worse still, some opposition MPs remain silent when asked pertinent questions in Parliament. Now, the mainstream media also does not give opposition parties enough chance to air their views and promote their respective campaigns. This is because the government has full control of the mainstream press via legislation such as the Newspapers and Printing Presses Act. All major publications are owned by the SPH. Censorship of opposition-related news is rampant, and oftentimes the media loves to twist stories and paint opposition parties in the bad light. Now, these are the realities that confront us today, and I won't mince my words in spelling them out. So it is pretty obvious that there is a need for greater opportunities for alternative voices to be heard, for alternative views to come forward, to be put forward, to be heard by the public. Because it is only when alternative views are expressed and heard and debated upon actively that elections can become freer and fairer and people have a greater stake in our political process. So this is where bloggers, civil society can come in as well, because if you think about it carefully, these 2 groups have actually great opportunity to play a larger role in the political process. Like we look at what's happening in Malaysia. In Malaysia, you have the blogging community being very active. You have very credible, very well-known websites like Malaysia Kini offering news coverage, very in-depth commentary and analysis. You have a very active civil society in Malaysia as well. And I think equally importantly, you have lawyers in Malaysia willing to get together to defend people who have been persecuted by the laws in Malaysia. Like, you just contrast this to Singapore. In Singapore, well, we do have bloggers, but so far they have remained more or less behind the comfort of their keyboards. And civil society in Singapore has been depoliticized, and basically, apart from organizations like AWARE and the Transit Workers Council organization, you don't really hear much of civil society coming up to speak and really giving a parallel alternative view of society. But I think change and improvement can definitely be made. Like, for example, right now, bloggers are making use of Web 2.0 technology like videos to bring forward their message in a more attractive fashion to attract more readers and basically get people to listen to them. And the PAP is also increasingly paying more attention to online media, although they may not acknowledge it explicitly, but you can tell that from time to time they do respond to views that are posted online, even if they refuse to have the basic courtesy of acknowledging the source of those views. Now,